I would just like to say the last time that I had the pleasure of talking to Brian Tyler Cohen, President Trump was not our president. So it's a great day for me to be here with President Trump back in office, and I can't wait to get into it.
Brian Tyler Cohen, your typical out-of-touch leftist, tries debating Tomi Lahren on Trump's trade policy, screaming economic calamity, predicting recession, panic, doom, and destruction, pure left-wing hysteria. Meanwhile, Tomi calmly lays down the facts and drags him back to reality. So buckle up, because Tomi absolutely dismantles this liberal lightweight. Let's get into it.
What President Trump did this week, Tomi, President Trump's tariffs. There is an escalating trade war going on between the U.S. and China, while the president has placed a 90-day pause on most of his reciprocal tariffs on other countries. Wall Street seemed to like that. We've seen huge swings in the stock market. Tomi, what do you think of the president's trade policy?
Listen, this is the art of the deal at its best, and I understand that there was some volatility on Wall Street, and that's understandable, and I don't ever want to downplay anybody's concerns when it comes to their finances, their 401k, their retirement. I completely understand the anxiety there, but what President Trump has said, and I believe, is this is less about Wall Street and more about Main Street, and what you're also seeing is this president in action. He's managed to, in a couple of days' time, isolate China from the rest of the world, put them in their place. He's got that 90-day pause. Other countries coming to the table, 70 plus, lining up to make deals with this president. So I'm incredibly happy to see this thing play out. I understand the anxiety. I trust the process. I trust this president, and I think that we're off to the races.
Trump didn't create economic chaos. He inherited decades of decline in American industry caused by policies like NAFTA, pushed by the Clintons, and globalist trade deals championed by Obama. The same Democrats crying about tariffs today were cheering them on back in 2007. Even Barack Obama imposed tariffs on China's textiles in an attempt to help U.S. manufacturers. And Tomi Lahren is absolutely right. This isn't about Wall Street, it's about Main Street. And Main Street is tired of being sold out to China.
I don't think that I trust the president any more than most of the country trust the president on the economy right now. The reality is that this is an economic calamity that he has ushered in, and he's done it unilaterally and voluntarily. If we actually do descend into a full-blown recession, which most people, most economists are predicting that we will right now, it'll be the first time that it's done at the hands of an American president for, completely unforced as an error, a completely unforced error. The reality is that the stock market is tanking. All of our indexes are in correction territory. If a Democratic president did this, Tomi would be apoplectic at the ruin that has been ushered in. And the only time there was some momentary reprieve in the stock market is when Donald Trump himself caved on his own policy. And finally, Tomi, you had mentioned that we're isolating China on the world stage. There's reporting now that Japan and South Korea are negotiating trade deals with China to go around American tariffs. There's reporting that the EU is working with China to eliminate those tariffs for EVs. So I'm concerned that you're not familiar with which country, in fact, is actually being isolated on the world stage. It doesn't look like it's China.
China needs us far more than we need China, as goes for the rest of the world. I understand the global economy, and I understand the anxiety here and the market reacting to it. But it's pretty simple. The way things were going was unsustainable. This president understands that. So that's why he was elected in many ways, for total upheaval. The Democrats are the party of the status quo. Keep everything the same. Simply just grow government, have more government jobs. This president doesn't see it that way. He believes in America, and he believes in the American people. Not only does he want to bring industry and business back to this country, good paying jobs for hardworking blue collar Americans, but he also understands that he is in a position uniquely to negotiate with the rest of the world, including China. This president is not inflexible. He said he's willing to make deals. He's welcoming these other countries to make deals. But I would say trust the American people, trust American industry, and understand that the way things have been going for the last 4+ years was not sustainable. Somebody had to do it. This president is willing to take the political risk to do it, and he believes in the process. He believes in the American people. He believes in the hardworking Americans that the Democrats would do well to understand they are hemorrhaging. Continue to go to bat for China and Wall Street. I think this president's fighting for the American people, and he's going to win big time because of it.
Tomi, one of your great strengths is that you are connected connected to so many people in the middle of the country who are hardworking, blue-collar type people. A lot of them voted for Donald Trump because they expected prices to go down. Are you concerned that a lot of President Trump's base is now going to see their own prices go up and they can't afford that?
Listen, I think we've seen from the report that not only is inflation cooling and the consumer price index has been favorable to this president. Again, the egg prices that they wanted to go down within the first day of the inauguration, those egg prices are down. Oil is down, so your gas prices are going to go down. That's going to fuel the economy in great and wonderful ways. I understand that anytime you make a dramatic transition, the markets are going to react to that. There is a nature of unpredictability. But I would say trust the process, trust this president. And you know what, Alex? If this doesn't work out in 6 months to a year, have us back on. I will eat crow. But for right now, I'm betting on the negotiator in chief. I believe he's bringing these countries to the table. He's the president of the United States. This country is the most powerful economy in the world. And it's about time that we get some fair and better trade deals.
So this guy Brian accuses Trump of isolating America. But in reality, Trump is doing the exact opposite. He's not cutting us off from the world. He's fighting to expand American influence by leveling the playing field so other countries actually buy American-made goods. And if Japan, South Korea, or anyone else is talking to China, so what? That's not betrayal. That's leverage. They're negotiating. That's the game. Meanwhile, Brian, the other announcer, tries to fearmonger, warning Trump's own base will feel the pain with rising prices for gas, food, and everyday goods. But here's the truth. Yeah, there might be short-term cost. That's how rebuilding works. You can't fix a broken system without pushing through the discomfort. In the long run, we bring back factories, restore manufacturing, reduce our dependency on China, and rebuild the American middle class. If you can't handle some short-term sacrifice for long-term prosperity, for a future where your kids and grandkids have jobs, you don't get to call yourself patriotic.
For the United States and the American people. That's what this president's doing.
And Brian, I mean, Tomi talks about this, but policies like NAFTA, a lot of folks in the middle of the country felt really hurt them, really hurt manufacturing, and did not help them, even though it made Wall Street richer. What about those folks?
The reality is that if the economy is cratering, which Donald Trump is ushering right now, that's not going to help anybody. It's not going to help those folks in the middle of the country. It's not going to help the folks who are looking to reshore jobs back in the United States. The market is looking for one thing, and that is, first of all, stability and a good faith negotiating partner. Donald Trump has proven that he is neither one of those things, which, by the way, is why foreign countries are dumping American bonds right now. And so that shows that no one is willing to invest in the United States across the world because they see that there is no stability in this country. And we talk about our trading partners. We've shown nothing but hostility to our trading partners. We've shown nothing but hostility to Mexico, to Canada. And so are these people going to be more likely to invest in the United States, more likely to get into business with Donald Trump, or less likely? We like to think of ourselves as this global behemoth that's beyond the reach of all of these other foreign countries, but we live in a globalized economy right now. And the fact is that we're not going to be able to do a lot of what we rely on other countries to do right here in the United States. We rely on a global economy. And right now, Donald Trump is doing nothing but making it more difficult for us to be able to negotiate those deals. And if he's tanking the economy in the meantime, that's not going to help anybody, whether they're in the middle of the country or on the coast of the country, whether they're Democrats or Republicans.
We're talking with Tomi Lahren on the right, Brian Tyler Cohen on the left. Let's talk about immigration now. We have seen a massive drop-off in illegal border crossings after President Trump has really cracked down in immigration. Biggest changes probably of anything he's done from the Biden administration. There are also a series of lawsuits, though, claiming that the administration is rushing to deport people who legally have a right to be here. The administration admitting, at least in one instance, they did make a mistake. Tomi, this is your issue. What do you make of President Trump's approach to immigration? And what do you say to critics who feel like he's rushing it and some people are getting caught up in the middle who shouldn't?
Well, listen, if you're an illegal alien, you have no legal right to be in this country, so you're not getting caught up in anything. I would just say that. I can't wait to talk about the so-called administrative error, and I can't wait to listen to Brian Tyler Cohen defend criminal illegal aliens. That's a wonderful hill for Democrats to die on. I encourage you to continue doing that. But I'll tell you this. President Biden said it couldn't be done. He said you cannot secure the border without the bipartisan border bill. Well, I guess that was a lie, just like everything else they fed to us during those 4 years where we essentially had a vegetable in office. It can be done. President Trump has managed to do it in less than 3 months. When you had border crossings, thousands a day, and now you're down to about a handful of gotaways, if that, I think this is an incredible success. Not only are we deporting criminal illegal aliens, we're keeping people from coming into this country illegally so we don't have to deal with the problem of deporting criminal illegal aliens 5-10 years down the road. This is an incredible success. President Trump has been able to do it in rapid speed, and there's nobody getting caught up that has a legal right to be here. You come into this country illegally, you are up for deportation. That might make Democrats mad, but I think that most of us on the right and the country that voted for this are quite happy with what's going on.
All the left wants to do is cry about so-called mistakes. You mean illegal aliens finally getting deported? Meanwhile, they stay silent on the thousands of American families devastated by drugs, crime, and human trafficking pouring across the border. What we're seeing under Trump isn't just tough talk. It's real action, not just on tariffs, not just on trade, but on immigration too. And the left can't stand it. This guy, Brian Tyler Cohen, is the perfect example of everything broken in Democrat politics. He's a polished talker. He has zero talking points, zero results. While Tomi wipes the floor with him because she's speaking for the working class that's been ignored, mocked, and left behind for decades. If you want a country that's prosperous, secure, and stable, you need borders. You need legal immigration system that actually works. We need to know who's coming in and out of our country. That's just common sense. So if you stand with American jobs, American workers, and America First future, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below. I want to hear your take.